Good morning, YouTube. Let's get into it.
Well, the truth is finally coming out, and this time it's from the BBC. Proof, if ever you've seen it, that there is a sham and scam operation going on helping migrants illegally claim asylum here by falsely claiming that they are gay. Let me take you to this BBC article here. We're here.
Yeah, we have. I have heard of this. Well, I don't know much about it, but I think this is one of the numerous reasons it seems that there is this trend that many in the Reform Party are gay men who have been a bit red-pilled by the attitude they've been shown by members of certain religions. Anyway, continue.
Run off the record, a little bit blunt and opinionated, shorter, to the point videos. For this, do subscribe if you like these shorter videos. I promise I'll keep it shorter. The BBC here, all credit to them. I didn't expect the BBC to do such an investigation, but here we are. They've found that legal advisors, not that I think many people doubted it, but they found that legal advisors were helping, and apparently for 17 years in one case, have been helping migrants pose and pretend to be gay in order to claim asylum. This undercover BBC investigation reveals a shadow industry of law firms, advisors charging thousands of pounds to help migrants pretend to be gay in order to stay in the UK. And
can't be surprised, can we? I suppose it's for those who are unaware, this is all happening because there are incentivized financial structures in place for bringing these migrants in and allowing them to stay in the country and using up resources. There's other people, obviously, like people who run the hotels, etc., that are benefiting greatly from this because, like, say, for instance, if you have a hotel and you've got customers coming in and out and you don't know how long each one of them is staying, but every time one of these asylum seekers comes in, you've got them in for a set period of time, so they're just filling up their hotels, like, pretty much the entire year, getting paid, like, handsomely, being able to, up sticks and leave, and just, like, leave the rest of us in the hellhole that they're creating.
Thousands of pounds to help migrants pretend to be gay in order to stay in the UK. And obviously then that transpires into years of the government trying to appeal, trying to deport them, trying to challenge these.
And I do think, sorry, I just want to cut him off. I do think, as a Christian, right, that I do see this as being part of, like, Satan's doing. He wants to create all this confusion, like, in these non-Christian religions, and use the weakness within our own cultures to take advantage in this way. Weakens. I fully see that as being the reason. But, that's just my opinion. We'll continue with Dan's.
Things they go through tribunals, each of which takes at least a year, if not 2 or 3 years, year upon year upon year, with the Home Office challenging it, countless tens of thousands of pounds challenging it doubtless in each and every single case. And this is not just illegal migrants arriving by small boats. These are people who were students, or they've got work visas that have expired, or they've just come in on some sort of pretense, so they've registered on a course, arrived here, and then they're going to these advisors, these sham advisors, who in my view should be going to prison for what they're doing, which obviously, because it's fraud, it's a false representation with a view to make a gain to yourself or someone else. And these people are working, and they are responsible for a vast number, doubtless, of the asylum numbers in the UK. It says here, these are often people whose student work or tourist visas have expired, rather than those arrived by small boat through or other illegal routes. These now make up 35% of asylum claims, which is over 100,000 claims.
That is worrisome. Considering that should be 0, not 35%. Like, the undocumented don't know where they come from, don't know what crimes they've committed, if they have committed crimes, which they more than likely have, I would presume, versus people who come in legally for study and jobs, which isn't a perfect system, but is much better than just letting every Tom, Dick and Harry come in over these boats. And now it's over a third, just over a third, but over a third nevertheless. That is still the correct balance for that abhorrent number there.
In 2025. And get this here, one of the lawyers said no one's gay here. So openly admitting in an undercover investigation with a covert video taken by the BBC, which you can view on this site here. I won't play it because they're very jumpy with copyright and I can't be bothered with another dispute. But the investigation here exposed that one law firm was charging up to £7,000 to bring a fabricated asylum claim, promising that the chance of refusal by the Home Office was very low, saying that she'll put together a comprehensive package, photographs of him in a club and various other things, pretending that he's gay. Fake asylum seekers visiting GPs, pretending to be depressed, to get medical evidence to bolster the claims. One even lying about being HIV positive. One immigration advisor boasted that she got 17 years of experience in helping to bring fake claims and that she could arrange for someone to pretend that they had a gay sexual relationship with a client. Undercover reporter was even told that they could bring his wife over from Pakistan once he got asylum in the UK and that she could return to make a fake claim pretending to be lesbian. A lawyer linked to another firm told an undercover reporter that had helped people pretend to be gay or atheists to successfully obtain asylum. He offered to help with the fake claim for a fee of £1,500 and said it would cost a further £2,000 or £3,000 to create evidence. Now, this...
Hey dear. Just completely, I don't know, well-rigged system to be able to pull down the trousers of the great British public and just give us a good old Roger in, and we can't do anything about it without fear of being thrown in prison. Hence why I'm still, at the minute, I'm anonymous, and I will obviously be trying to remain anonymous for as long as possible due to sort of heavy-handed nature of the British justice system, or the asymmetry that has been created within that justice that treats natives such as myself as being lesser, essentially, than people who are fresh in the country. I'm not very pleased about it at all. I mean, I don't have a lot of it. If I carry on talking about it, I might just go into a bit of a rant here, so I'll just let Daniel continue.
Now, this is such an insult to lawyers such as myself, and we tread an absolute tightrope when it comes to being absolutely right down to the fine detail point, accurate and honest and concise. We absolutely cannot mislead anybody, and certainly not the court or a tribunal or the Home Office or anybody else. I mean, even to the point, this might surprise you, but even to the point that if we are sat in court and whilst we are not under a duty to assist our opponent, we cannot allow the court to be misled. So let's say if there's a case that hinges on one precedent that my opponent is unaware of, but that would make my case, because if they don't know about this precedent and they don't put it forward to the court might rule in my favour, my client's favour. But if I know of that precedent and I know that the court is about to make a ruling that is contrary to the law because I'm aware of this case law, I cannot allow the court to be misled. And
that's an interesting one. I mean, as being Christian, I think that, yes, you would have to be as truthful as possible because God is watching and he's going to punish you even if you're lying in this case. God would want you doing as Daniel has commented on there. It'd be hard for another human being to catch you out in that lie. God would catch you though. God would know, and you still feel the karmic retribution later on from making such an action against God by lying or being deceitful, or bearing false witness. Anyway, I'll continue.
Obviously, there's an overlapping interest here of acting in your client's interests and various other things. But when it comes to legal argument, you cannot just sit quiet about these things. Your absolute number one duty is to the court. And in a case like this, obviously, the authorities and the Home Office and so on. So this really, really irritates me. We all know that this sort of stuff can happen and probably does happen, but then to see it reported like this and see the absolute depth and detail that this investigation has uncovered, it is absolutely staggering. So go and have a read of it, but this just bolsters the case that we absolutely need to get on top of these things, because at the end of the day, this is costing this country so much money, and we absolutely need to do something about it. And
amen. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to be able to cover more commentary style stuff in politics and whatnot. So if you like, what I've had to say on this topic, even though if I've been a bit brief, because this video that he's made in anyway, then yeah, feel free to give me a like and subscribe. The link for this will be in the description anyway. If you're not aware of the Black Belt Barrister Off the Record channel, or Daniel, give him a subscribe. There's only ever been one thing he's ever said that different. It wasn't even a legal thing. I'll not mention it in this. Maybe I'll mention it in another one. Just subscribe and you'll potentially find out why it is that I disagreed with him. See you later.